Okay, so we'll try this again. Let's have a look. Sign out to the trade right there. So I'm just gonna connect my funding. Okay, let's go. Well, that's relatively quick to see the initial buy side at 7 o'clock, so that's what we're looking for. Get into it in a bit more detail in a second, but let me just mark these levels out that are forming. Okay, initial sell side. Sound working fine, yeah? Sound working fine, yeah? Sound working fine, yeah? Yeah. Okay. 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 Okay. So let's see what time it is. So it's 12:09. In terms of the bias today, let's have a look. Just a second. The green. In terms of the bias today, if we look at the daily chart, we've seen this immediate rebalance here yesterday in Asia. So coming in today straight away, I am wanting to look for higher prices. But what you got to be careful of is Thursdays typically you can see delivery that's opposite to the weekly dealing so far. So this week, Monday we went higher, buy side delivery. Tuesday consolidated, offered bullish OB, and then yesterday we went higher. So if we look at it from there on the hourly, I'll just move that out the way. So like now above price we have this new day opening gap and obviously previous day's high, and then underneath price we've got these look back levels. So this is, you know, highs and lows in the past 3 days, which I mark out all the time because they're so important to me. And since us seeing that immediate rebalance yesterday in Asia, what we've actually had form is a lot of relative equal lows in here. With the relative equal lows forming, there is a chance, if we are really bullish, that we just leave them and we just continue going higher from here. And you know, a low could form during the 7 o'clock hour or something like that. But just as the 7 o'clock session's starting now, what I'll probably look for is some sort of short if we can accumulate just above here in the next hour or so, and then I'll look to trade it into these look back levels and potentially this new week opening gap. Let's see, so what did we engineer? I'm just trying to think with this because it's a bit tricky that. If we can accumulate above this level, then I probably would look for some shorts lower for the next hour or two. Obviously, if we don't look like we want to move off lower after trading into this green level, which is a premium on the hourly, then I'll probably just wait until after half an hour and see what we want to do from there. But at the minute we've created initial buy side and initial sell side. So with that being the case, we've ran into the initial buy side there, not with much conviction at the minute. But we just need to wait a bit, see what price wants to do. Got an interval. Oh, why is not showing up? What am I doing there? So what I don't like about this initial sell side, initial buy side, so we had a little run here, not really a run, we formed a swing high here, then we formed another swing high, so there's the initial buy side, then we formed this swing low, and then this swing low, but we traded into this before it was confirmed as a swing low. So for us to want to break down from here, for us to want to break down from here, I would have wanted to see accumulation above this level. But that is a big wick straight away, so let me just see if there's anything going on with Trump. Not as of yet, but you gotta be careful because sometimes it doesn't even say, and then Trump will just be in a meeting talking, so I'll just check online. Literally Trump's live now, is that right?
All of the other things, Midnight Hammer, getting rid of the nuclear threat from Iran, which was a big moment in history, in my opinion, and the great success we've had in Venezuela and all other places. Every place we've gone, we've had tremendous success. But while we're doing all of these things, we're achieving major strides toward completing our military objective. And some people could say they're pretty well complete. We've wiped every single force in Iran out very completely. Most of Iran's naval power has been sunk. It's on the bottom of the sea. It's almost 50 ships. I was just notified it's 51 ships. I didn't know they had that many. Didn't last very long. And these are fighting vessels. They're meant to fight, but they're not meant to fight against us. We continue to target Iran's drone and missile capabilities. Their drones are way down. Their drone manufacturing's been hit starting today. We know all of the places they manufacture the drones, and they're being hit one after another. Their missile capability is down to about 10%, maybe less. We're also hitting where they make missiles and where they deliver missiles. We've struck over 5,000 targets to date, some of them very major targets, and we've left some of the most important targets for later in case we need to do it. If we hit them, it's going to take many years for them to be rebuilt, having to do with electricity production and many other things. So we're not looking to do that if we don't have to. But they're the kind of things that are very easy to hit, but very devastating if they are hit. We are waiting to see what happens before we hit them. We could take them all out in one day, but it's all resulting in a 90% decline in various things, but in particular, Iranian missile launchers and 83% drop in drone launchers. As you know, the drone launchers are pretty well shot, but we're at over 90% decline in the Iranian missile launchers, which is very hard to reproduce and very hard to get. And usually what we were able to do through great equipment, a lot of smart people, as soon as they sent a missile up from a launcher, we were able to knock out that launcher within a period of 5 minutes or less, accurately, right on the noggin. So now we have low-cost interceptors effectively combating Iranian drones, and our B-2 bombers recently dropped dozens of 2,000-pound bombs to destroy missile launchers all over Iran and buried deep under Iranian soil in many cases. The soil was no match. And we're also annihilating the manufacturing base that the regime uses to build drones and missiles at a rate that nobody thought was possible. We're knocking them out. We know where they all are. We're knocking them out very quickly. We're ahead of our initial timeline by a lot. I would say that we probably would not have thought after a month we'd be here, in addition to the fact that we've taken out the leadership twice and maybe 3 times. And we, as you know, we want to be involved. We don't want another president that maybe wouldn't be willing to do what I'm willing to do for the good of the world, for the good of our nation, to be stuck with the situation in 5 years or 10 years from now. So we think they should put a president in, or the head of the country in, that's going to be able to do something peacefully for a change. They've been doing this for 47 years, killing people for 47 years, whether it's the barracks or even the SS Cole where they were involved. Very strongly, they always denied it. But where they were very strongly involved, and all of the people that died through the roadside bombs died and are right now walking around with no legs, no arms, a face that's been so badly damaged. The Iranian regime has been attacking Americans and spreading terror for 47 years, and despite these countless opportunities to renounce their nuclear ambitions, which they had just a short while ago, they told Mr. Witkoff, who is standing right over here, they said, they actually said, we want to keep building. Essentially, in a real nutshell, we want to continue to build nuclear weapons. If we didn't knock out Midnight Hammer, if we didn't knock out their Iranian potential, if we didn't do that with Midnight Hammer, they would have had a nuclear weapon. They would have used it long before now. And at a minimum, Israel would have been annihilated. I was very lucky that we had the courage to do that, that we had the talented pilots and the great equipment. The B-2 bombers are unbelievable. We ordered 25 more, by the way. The newer, better version. It's we have the greatest military in the world. We have the greatest equipment in the world by far. You see that no matter where we go. You still need the people, though, to operate it and to use it. And those are the people that we cherish. Even after we obliterated their key nuclear sites in Operation Midnight Hammer, they never negotiated in good faith. They still continued to say, we want to build nuclear. We want enrichment at levels that were unacceptable. And they even turned down an offer for unlimited free nuclear fuel forever for civilian purposes. We had people offering them free nuclear fuel. They weren't interested in that because they wanted to build a nuclear weapon. So instead, the regime was trying to reconstitute its weapons program at a different site. They couldn't go back to where they were, the 3 sites that we obliterated. But they were starting work at another site, a different site, different kind of a site. And that was protected by granite. They wanted it protected. Granite's pretty good, but they wanted it protected by a lot deeper. They wanted to go a lot deeper, and they started the process while rapidly building conventional ballistic missiles. They were going to do it all at the same time that threatened our overseas bases and soon could have reached even our homeland. The regime's intention was to use this exponentially growing ballistic missile threat to make it virtually impossible to prevent them from obtaining a nuclear weapon. So as you probably saw, they had a tremendous number of missiles, most of which are now being used or destroyed, and very unsuccessfully used because we have been able, for the most part, to shoot them all down. What incredible technology. The Patriots have been unbelievable, and other things. And the laser technology that we have now is incredible. It's coming out pretty soon. Where literally lasers will do the work of, at a lot less cost, do the work of what the Patriots are doing or what other things are doing. The situation was very quickly approaching the point of no return, and the United States found it intolerable, in my opinion, based on what Steve and Jared and Pete and others were telling me, Marco, so involved, that I thought that they were going to attack us. I thought they would, if we didn't do this at the time we did it, I think they had in mind to attack us. And if you notice, they did something which was very foolish, very stupid, I would say. They attacked their neighbors. And their neighbors were largely neutral, or at least weren't going to be involved, and they got attacked. And it had the reverse effect. The neighbors came onto our side and started attacking them, and actually quite successfully. If you look at Saudi Arabia, you look at UAE, Qatar, and others, but they were strong and they were smart, but they got attacked. Nobody, when I first heard it, I said, no, somebody made a mistake. There was no mistake. UAE had over 1,000 missiles shot at it, knocked them almost all down. On the very first day I came down the escalator in 2015, I said, quote, I will stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons, and all I'm doing is keeping my promise. Think of that. That was in 2015. I said it. It was a threat then and a much bigger threat now, but no longer a threat, not for a long time anyway. We want to keep it that way. As we continue Operation Epic Fury, we're also focused on keeping energy and oil flowing to the world, and I will not allow a terrorist regime to hold the world hostage and attempt to stop the globe's oil supply. And if Iran does anything to do that, they'll get hit at a much, much harder level. I will take out those targets that were easy and that I mentioned just before. We'll take them out so quickly, they'll never be able to recover, ever. If they want to play that game, they better not play that game. In the long run, oil supplies will be dramatically more secure without the threat of Iranian ships, drones, missiles, nuclear menace, or anything. So the Strait of Hormuz is going to remain safe. We have a lot of Navy ships there. We have the best equipment in the world, inspecting for mines. Again, most of their ships are down at the bottom of the sea, but we will hit them so hard that it will not be possible for them or anybody else helping them to ever recover that section of the world if they do anything. In recent years, the regime and its Terror proxies have launched attacks on hundreds of commercial vessels. We're putting an end to all of this threat once and for all, and the result will be lower oil prices, oil and gas prices for American families. We've done that. We've done it. We brought it very low. This was just an excursion into something that had to be done. We're getting very close to finishing that, too. In the meantime, during this brief disruption, the United States is offering political risk insurance to any tankers operating in the Gulf. So we're putting up risk insurance. We'll perhaps go alongside of them for protection. We don't think it'll be necessary if it is. And if they do anything, the price will be incalculable. It will be so great that they will have wished they never did it, because you have to keep the straits flowing. With all of that, it affects other countries much more than it does the United States. It doesn't really affect us. We have so much oil. We have tremendous oil and gas, much more than we need. We have Venezuela now as our new partner, great partner. They've worked out so wonderful. We're working with the administration, the president, and it's a massive.
The president arrived. This was a flawed strategy, as your clear direction was to never allow Iran
strikes on Yemen. In another devastating
So with that at Trump, I don't even know if that was live or not, but the market seems to be responding to it like it's just a bit of an iffy start at the 7 o'clock hour. When I look at it a bit more detail, I'd say probably that's in here. That's the initial sell side, then that's the initial buy side. But I would like to see it move into this H1 level first. Don't have to, but I'd just be a lot more confident going long if we can trade into this first. Just because once we've traded into that and we refuse to keep going, it basically says, you know, that's the limit where price is going. It's a H1 structure, immediate rebalancing there. Okay, let's now see if we can see a move higher. We've engineered a lot of mana buy side in the meantime, and then obviously if my model shows, I'll just look to enter in. That's what we're waiting for at the minute. Let's see. It's a nice move so far towards the H1 level. Okay, immediate rebalancing there now. I want to see a body. You know, a couple of bodies in here. And then obviously we can look for longs. Yeah. As long as we respect that level, the H1 level. Nice. Got M15 relative equalizer above us. We've got the NASDAQ above us as well. So that constitutes a nice move higher. Do 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 do. Nice reaction into the H1 level, to be fair. Let's just look at ES. Okay. Look at that. Perfect retracement into equilibrium there. Why is not translating over? So one final touch into this H1 level, and us respecting it, I'd be quite confident in a move higher. We don't really want to see it close below here unless it's a mohawk, and it's the end of it's the signal for a reversal from this level. I like that though. I like that for the move higher on the H1. Come on. If it just wants to keep going lower, I've got no interest in shorting that. That's fine. Yeah, so let's have a look. Why aren't they translating through? Yeah, so we've seen a displacement lower here. So just seeing what it's traded into, it's quite a heavy retracement if we are to continue higher from here. So it might just keep pressing on low from this level now. If that was the case, you'd expect this to act as a breakaway gap in which you won't want to see traded to. So that's quite bullish. It's quite a heavy retracement underneath the H1 level, but yeah, if we can get back above equilibrium and start printing higher, then obviously you can get involved in longs. But it might just want to engineer liquidity and just keep tapping lower, and that's fine. But if it does, I've got no interest in trying to short it. It's below. Because it's not really low resistance, so yeah, a lot of back and forth in there if you look at 15 minute. Okay, that's crazy. Wild price action that. Blue. What the fuck's that like? There's a lot of gyrating in price this morning. There's nothing really going on in terms of news though, so just wondering why it's doing that. Okay. I'll just wait for the time being. See what the M15 close looks like. Don't start your crying, it'll be alright. So price is back above that, it's closing above that on the 5 minute by the looks of it. Okay, let's just wait. Touch this once, and then if we could start going high from there, that would be a good sign for longs. Seem to engineer a fair bit of mana buy side as well. Hourly looks relatively good, but if we're not going to press higher from this one, this hour into these highs, then you're probably looking at around 9 o'clock before we did. So we got 15 minutes. 15 minutes to start showing signs that we want to push higher. There is the case to move higher, you know, we got this M15 buy side, So this H1 premium level, which we haven't traded to, but we've engineered buy side into it. Then obviously we've got the end dog above all that, which is what we're really targeting. So nice touch into that. The model appears now. Game on for longs. Doesn't help having a cold, like, what it is. Here we go again. But if we look at this move lower, you know, high resistance, back and forth, anyone who's in this, you're going to be jittery laterally. And then if you look on the 15 minute, so you'd say from the midnight open, who's made money? Asia going long, London going short. Okay. So we might be looking for longs here, we're just waiting. Just waiting for another. Want this to be a busy, want it to be a breakaway gap. Okay. It's a bit laggy for some reason. Don't know if that's the mouse. So we are just waiting for the busy to form in price. Be nice if we can tap into that. Still not on yet in terms of an entry, even though we are pressing higher. I do wanna. I'm gonna wait for that. So it'll be something like maybe there. Okay. So we're just gonna wait now. so we're literally in the trade now. Okay. So it's just on the other screen, which I'll show you in a minute. Let's have a look. Oops. But yeah. See one. That's the entry now, which I'll show you. I'll drag it over. Okay. So it's a lovely move so far. We're looking for the end dog, sorry. That's what we wanted to see it traded to. We might just get a fast run here, but you know, don't count your chickens until they've hatched. We traded through that hourly level. H1 immediate rebalance, don't forget. Just waiting now. I'm gonna take some off there because we've got that first presentation. I'm gonna take 2 off there. It's a bit annoying. Be honest, what I don't like about this is I don't know how to put a stop in on it. Is it just stop? So when you look at it there's no reason for it to want to stop here, because look at the hourly close that we're going to possibly get. So if this is a run up, let's just check a yes. Oh yeah, so it's a run into both, so I'm confident that we're going to keep going here, so there's no worries there. Not the best first candle into it, but if we close that out, we can just expect a continuation through. Because I've took parcels as well, I don't really want price to come back to my entry, because if it does, that means we might dance around a little bit. That's where I'd look to re-enter to some measure of consolidation or whatnot. So I'd like it to start going higher again pretty. Let's see if we can close out that. So anytime I take partials early, that's where I'll move my stops to break even. So what I see is closed I want to see us trade into this level. By doing so, you know, it stops any breakaway gap forming against us. So it's just a case of waiting here. Price is ready to go again. So we go again. Now we want to see it smash through this first presentation from yesterday, is it? Yeah. Okay. Come on, baby. So I'll take some off at 2R. Not the best. Going through that. Let's have a look on the yes. Potential SMT on the eyes, not even formed. That's what you call yourself flooding yourself out of position. Let's smash through the sea here. So for me in here, there's no like real levels that's trading into. Like if it's going here, it's going high, you know. Let's have a look. Past equilibrium, you know. You know what? For safe measure, you know what I'm gonna do? Absolutely nothing. So on the funded account, obviously we haven't booked nothing here yet, but pretty close to passing it. We're well past 106, but we've got to get 107 because we overachieved on a couple of trades in one day. It's fantastic the way the system is. So I'll take 6 or 5 off here. Take 2 off. Let's keep going. Make this a bit better now. We want to see it go to the MWOG, the main thing. Just booking some profits. And then just keep waiting now. Pretty good trade so far, but we do want to see go to the target, the end dog. Probably been saying MWOG, haven't I? That's what you call concentrating. I'm saying MWOG when it's end dog. Damn. should want to go higher the next 1 or 2 candles max. Don't really want to see it sit here for much longer. Boom, because we want to see decisiveness from price. Let's see. Any H1 levels there? Nah. Should just probably take most of it off there. Okay. So obviously I don't want to take profits off here, but when it's taking its time like this, you've got no choice really, because there's mental capital in the trade, so you're not going to just do that to yourself. And obviously we've got this first presentation, but I'm not really interested in seeing it want to come any lower, especially to my break even. Shit like that, that's what annoys me, because you sit in the trade and it might reverse from here, but that's why you can't just, well, I wouldn't say it annoys me, but that's why you can't just think, oh yeah, I'm clear, sitting out till how many are. You've got to take profits along the way. You're sitting in a trade, you waste the mental capital. You can't just put yourself through that without any sense of reward, because otherwise you're just going to be, you batter your head and you end up taking a shit to trade afterwards. Well, it's been a decent trade so far, just about 400 and seen about 1.2 hour. Just waiting out for that final bit. This is the start of the 8 o'clock, like, so still don't know how to put a stop on this traderify. So like, I've got these sitting here, but I'd rather just put a stop, but I don't know if it is stop. Will that actually be a stop, or will it just close the position? You know what I mean? Should we test it? See if it wants to close it out on us. Could add to the position. One more. If we can close above that. And then we'll whack that stop in. Okay. I'm going to put this stop in. So, sell, stop. So, 5. moment of truth. Oh, it worked. Fucking hell. Happy days, it actually worked. So I'll just leave that stop there in profit. Put it underneath it in case, any funny business. So yeah, we want to get to 107 to pass it, so $500 off basically. Take one off here. Change that to 4. Works. So 106.1. Just sit on it now, innit? So far, what has it actually done in terms of RR? Let's have a look. 2R, pretty good. If it starts closing below this first presentation now, I'm going to close the trade in profit. I'm not interested in any sort of heavy retracement back down here to sweep this relative equal lows. So if we see it close below here, let's just check yes. Straight into the end log. Yeah. Just wait for the close basically. Just when I thought it was out, they pulled me back in. It's glitched. Wait for the close. Should we add to it again? No, I'm joking. So, sell limit. See if it wants to start moving higher again. 805. We have got this hourly. When I look at it, a lot of it is saying, wait until the end log. But that's not trading, you've got to take profits. So I'll wait until this level trade into on the hourly. You can see there on the NQM, the minis. So I'll change that to 2. So we've actually touched it on. Okay, I'm gonna close that out. Now you know what I'm gonna do? Put it there. Will that close it out though on this Tradify? You know, it's a bit sussy, innit? Nice move into the end out though, tell you that. Do I need the top tick? No, not really. Let's wait for the close. We want to see it close above the C of this, and then we can expect further into that end dog. Boom. And get your ass into it, lad. I'm going to take one off here. Then you got one there. So what are we on now? 538. So we're nearly there for passing it. 106.53. Need to get to 107 obviously. Nice 3R trade. I might add to this just to pass it. What do you reckon? So if we add to this, where would your stop be? We'll just wait a minute. So we typically wouldn't do something like this, but we're literally $400 away. So the case of getting this passed today, you know, it is worth it if we can get that. We do need to start seeing some sort of bodies though going on here. Okay, I'm getting in on that. Sell stop there. Free. Confirm. So we're just anticipating it to go higher from here now. We've booked quite a lot off this, about $1,000 on about 2.1R. And now we just want to see it continue higher. If it doesn't, that's fine, but it's a risk you take to just get the funded past instead of having to use more mental capital for another trade, and it's like $450. It's not, obviously it's important to be process orientated, but with these fundeds it's just, they're a bit funny, aren't they? You don't want to be blitzing them. No, you want to be blitzing them, you don't want to be in them for months. So what needs to go to for it to pass? Risk. Shit. You know what? It'd have to go pretty high. That can't be right. No, that can't be right. That must be. gonna close it if it doesn't keep going. It's a bit boring. In it though, on that, is it a mo? If it doesn't want to keep offering it, you know, it's what it is. I'll just enter in on another trade, but that's probably what I'm gonna do. Like close. Closed inside of it for 10 seconds. So we're looking at this. Okay, that's done. So that closed on F5. So I need $400 to pass it, which is sound. Get rid of this. Put this back on the other screen. So I'll probably do that next week or something. Don't trade Fridays. Trade Friday. No, don't really trade Fridays. Might find something later into the session, but I don't really want to take another trade after booking like close. What is it? 3 hours, close to 3 hours. It's not really necessary. Yeah, call it a day with the streaming. Good to go. Nice trade.